Hi, welcome. It's Lyndon Talbot back again from TLC Media Group, and this is the second video of the three-part series. Now, if you haven't seen the first video, I suggest that you go back and check that one over, that first strategy. Now, today we've got two strategies, very similar but different, and we're talking about Facebook. Now, you might be thinking, well, Facebook is a load of shit nowadays, like, because basically Mark Zuckerberg, he's been doing this for a while now, but basically it's pay to play. If you're not paying for anything on Facebook, then basically none of your posts or anything are not getting seen. Basically, when he got us all going onto Facebook and get a business page up, get all these likes, people were paying money to get likes, and now basically he stabbed us in the back and saying, I'm sorry, but they're going to do jack shit for you now. If you've got, say, 3,000 likes on your restaurant fan page and you post something out, basically at the moment it's about 3% range that it's going out to your fan base. It's gradually getting lower and lower, and it's going to get to the point where you could put a post out, and if you're just posting it, not paying for it on the boost or anything, then basically you'll be lucky if it gets seen by 10 people. The only way that it will get, if you are still posting, basically I'm telling you that if you're paying people, any agency or anything to do Facebook for you, basically I'd jack it in, because unless they do some really good posts for you and they getting shared, because as I say, at the moment it's still getting seen by a few, but unless they share it, then it will get seen by more people. But if people aren't sharing any of the posts, then basically it's just a waste of time. Now, as I say, Mark Zuckerberg, he's done this obviously for a reason, because there's so much advertising now on Facebook that there's no room on there for people just posting stuff for free, like, so this is why he's stopping it. Now, to be honest, it is a good thing. You might be thinking, how the frickin' hell can it be a good thing? But the problem is, restaurants, well, it's not a problem, not for you if you do start doing these strategies that I'm going to tell you today. 95% of restaurants are doing none of the Facebook stuff. They're just not doing it. Now, thing is, hang on, as I say, at the moment there's about 95% of people that are doing nothing on Facebook. In 12 months to 18 months time, there will be a difference, and restaurants will start advertising on Facebook. Now, the problem, they can be advertising, but they're still going to be wasting a hell of a lot of money, because basically they don't know what they're doing, unless they get some agency in for them that'll do the Facebook for them, and to be honest, that can cost them a lot of money. But as I say, I'm going to be doing another video at some point on the best ways to advertise on Facebook, but that's not what we're talking about today. What I'm going to be showing you today is a couple of strategies that basically could get your videos going your posts and that going viral on Facebook, and it's not going to cost you a penny. The first strategy I'll be talking about, it will cost you slightly, but not very much. But the second one, basically, it won't cost you at all. Now, the first one I'm talking about is check-ins. Now, you probably already saying, well, we get people doing check-ins. Yeah, well, you do, but to be honest, you're not getting enough doing it. You might get somebody come in and they'll just check in. It's a vanity thing, to be honest, with people. They just love saying, oh, look at me, I'm at this certain restaurant. The better your restaurant, then the more people will probably check in. But what you need to have really is a campaign for check-ins. Now, what you do, you get check-in signs. You can get these free off Google. Just Google Facebook check-in signs and you'll see them come up. Print them off. Put them on one of your little A4 table tent type things. Put them on the front desk. And then you really need to give them incentive of, say, even 5% off their bill. Now, if you have them on front of desk when they're checking out and they're coming to pay, they either see the sign based that you do need to say, look, you know, if you check in, you can get 5% off your bill just for checking in. And as I say, if there's, say, 4 on that table and there's only 1 that checks in, it's all 4 have got to check in. Because if 1 checks in and the other 3 don't, basically, say they've paid £50, they've got a bill for 50 quid. If 1 pays, if 1 checks in, you quarter that bill, so you're looking at £12.50, and they'll get either, it's up to you what you want to do, 5% or 10% off. So basically, if it's 5% off, which I'd suggest you just do 5% for a check-in. This doesn't include any drinks. If you've got drinks on there, knock that off the bill. Just put a few terms and conditions on the check-in, you can do. And as I say, not 5, that's going to cost you £1.25. If there's 4 and you want to try and suggest to them that they all check in, and it's going to cost you £5 for 4 of them to check in. Now the thing is, what happens, you get 4 of them that check in. On average, you've got, most people have got around on average 200 friends on Facebook. As soon as they check in, that goes out to the majority of their friends on Facebook. So if you've got 4 of them that are checking in, you're averaging 800 people, 800 friends they've got. So that's going to be going out to hundreds of people. And they're going to see, if you've got your check-in on your restaurant Facebook page set up correctly, that's going to be seen by hundreds of people. And it shows you your address, it gives you all the your telephone number and everything there. It's an amazing way of getting exposure to your business for basically free. It's not costing you nothing. And the thing is, Mark Zuckerberg, he absolutely, at the moment especially, is loving local businesses. So this is why you've probably noticed you've made the check-in a lot easier for people to do now for local businesses. Now, this is why I'm saying to do your check-ins. Now, I'm just going down here. As I say, I'm looking on my laptop here, guys, so I don't actually miss anything. I don't want to miss anything out because it's quite important here. As I say, you'll get, when they check in, and a lot of people, what you can do as well is have little check-in, little 6 before cards on the tables with a check-in saying 5% off your food, but make sure that when the servers come over to them, they promote the check-in and then make sure that the people, they need to check in why the server's there, just to prove that they've checked in. As I say, you want them checking in, right? So to make sure, first of all, to make sure that you are all ready for check-in, if you go to your business page, click on the notifications at the top of the page, click on activities, then there you'll see where the check-ins are. How to make sure, that's how you know how many check-ins have been coming through, how many people have been checking in. And then if you want to make sure, you need to make sure that it is all set up for check-ins. Basically, on the left side of your page, click the edit page info. Next to the address, click to check the box next to the customers that visit my business at my address and click save. You may not, or you've probably already got this already set up, but if you haven't, just make sure that it's set up because it's so powerful. This one technique can just boost sales dramatically. Now it's obvious that you're realizing that you need to be doing this check-in strategy. You've probably, as I say, you do get people already that are checking in, but you want at least 50% of your people checking in. If you've got one of these set up front of desk and on your tables, the chances are people are going to do it, especially if you're offering them, even if it's just 5% discount, they will check in. So, but make sure that your waiting staff, they are promoting it as well, because it's not just going to promote itself. I know you've got there, the odd few might just check in, but if you have the server come over and say, oh, have you seen that you can save 5% off your bill if you check in with us? The thing is, if they're actually sitting down at the table when they check in, the chances are they'll they could take photos of your food, of the food that you've brought over that they're eating, and then that goes on Facebook. They'll start posting it there, and these can other people see it, and then if they've never been to your restaurant, they start sort of asking questions. Oh, you know, where are you? Where is it? And we've not been there. Is it good? And it's just getting awareness, guys, for your restaurant. Look, you might be thinking, look, we don't want to do this. We're just word of mouth and basically like referrals and that. And I said in the last video, guys, you've got to be changing your thinking of how you are marketing your restaurants nowadays. If you look back at Blockbuster, now they didn't change, and look what happened to them. They've gone bust now. Netflix actually come to them a few years ago, and I can't quite remember if it was Netflix. I'm pretty sure Netflix said to Blockbuster, do you want to buy Netflix? It was either, do you want to buy Netflix or we'll buy you out. I'm pretty sure Netflix says, you know, do you want to buy Netflix? And they turned them down flat, and now you can see how Netflix is going, and I don't even think there are any Blockbusters around anymore. So you've got to change. Even with Toys R Us now, you've seen in America, they didn't change. The internet has come now, you've got Amazon, and people aren't shopping in stores anymore. They didn't make that change, and to be honest, they've saved a few back in the UK, and I guarantee it won't be long before they've gone as well. It's because they're not changing the way, and they've got to do. So the same as you guys, you've got to start changing the way that you market. Now, that first strategy, check-in, it's costing you pence on the pound, like, guys. So you need to be doing this check-in. Now, I'll just tell you a little story now. It's going a bit off track here, but it's quite funny. But I went on holiday. I went with a couple of guys. It was a family of wife and his husband, her husband, Jesus. And we went abroad, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning when we went to go get checked in at the hotel. Now, it was a 5-star hotel, and all of a sudden I heard this guy come up behind us, and he goes, "Chicken." And I looked round and I thought, well, it's a 5-star hotel. He was like dressed a bit shitty like, and I thought, who the fuck are you? And I didn't say that to him like, and he goes, "Chicken." And I thought, I was pretty hungry actually, and I thought, well, I know it's all inclusive, but the actual all inclusive finished at about 12 o'clock, about midnight. And I thought, shit, yeah, I could do with some chicken. And he goes, "Chicken." And so we blanked him like, and then we went and went to the front desk, and we got all the room and got a cards and that. And my mate turned around to him and he says, "Chicken?" He said, "No, check-in." And he was trying to get us to check in. I thought he was saying fricking chicken, and he was saying check-in. And when we told him, like, he just burst out laughing. But I thought he would have been, actually, it was a 5-star hotel. You'd think that he would have actually had some sort of uniform on, but he didn't. So that put me off. But yeah, that was a bit of a funny thing about check-ins. Okay, now the next strategy that we're talking about is again on Facebook, and we're looking at events this time. Now it's easy to create an event on your business page on Facebook. Just make sure it's public. It's all set to public. Set your dates, set the times, etc., and then just publish. Once it's published, what happens? It goes out to a lot of your friends on Facebook. Sorry guys, this is just, it goes out to a lot of your fans and that on your Facebook page, and then if they click on it that they're interested, it then sends out to all, well, not all of them, but it sends out to a lot of their friends that if they've got interest in food or restaurants and that it actually goes out to them, and they'll see that event, and then if they put that they're interested, or maybe, it'll then go out to their friends, and doing this, guys, it can make your events go viral, and it's just getting your restaurant out there. You need to be showing your restaurant and that on Facebook on a daily basis, really. Now, let's have a look. So, okay, you're probably sat there thinking, I haven't even got an event that I can put out. Well, obviously we've all got events. You've got your big ones. You've got your, like, over Christmas, you've got Easter, you've got Mother's Day, Father's Day, there's bonfire night, all the sort of events that everybody sort of has all the year. You've got them, so that's easy. But then you've got other ones that you can, basically, guys, you can just make them up. You could have a cheesecake event where you're selling a cheesecake either for free if they spend 20 quid, or you could do it £2 for cheesecake. You can have a gin night where you've got 2-for-1s on gin night. It could be gin night Tuesday. You could have a steak night where you get a free drink with a steak. There's loads, guys. If you just have a little think of the sort of food that you sell, and like just give away perhaps a drink with a certain meal, or if they have a 3-course meal, you could even give a bottle of wine away if there's a couple dining on a 3-course meal, and just make that as an event. Right, let's have a look. Depending what event you're having, make sure that you've got to put an awesome image on, because that's what gets it noticed on Facebook. So if you've got some shitty picture that you're just going to upload and put onto your event, people are just going to scroll straight past it and not even notice it. But if you get a picture, an image, you can even have videos on there on your event page. I mean, they're a little bit more to set up, because they've got to be all the right dimensions and that. So if you can't do any of that, then don't worry. Make sure that you put an awesome image up there with good graphics, or make sure it's just a good quality image, and it just gets people as they're scrolling down. And with an event, it's basically, it takes up a lot of the Facebook page, especially if they're on mobile, so it'll stand out, that will. Now let's have a look. Basically, you won't get, if you've got say 20 people that say that they're coming to your event, they're not all going to turn up. People sometimes they just put it, but that's not a problem, because if they just put that they're interested, it's getting your brand awareness out there, and it's getting people, it's what we call TOMA, top of mind awareness. Whereas people subconsciously, if they're seeing more of your ads, more of your pictures, people are putting like the check-in things, and they're seeing that on a regular basis, the next time that they're on a night, they want to go out on a night out with the partner, it will pop into their head and think, oh, you know, we'll go to this certain restaurant, like I've seen that, I've been advertising, or I've seen so and so, their friend went there and they said they enjoyed it. And it's just keeping your brand, your restaurant at top of mind. Now look, the majority of restaurants, they're just not doing any of this, guys. It's probably as I say again, there's 2 or 3 restaurants that have started doing the event. Nobody that I've seen is doing the check-in. I haven't seen one yeah, you've got check-ins like we went over, but there's not one restaurant that I've ever been in that they've actually got a strategy actually put together for people to check in. Now let's have a look here. Yeah, most restaurants, what happens is, I mean, I've seen it in my local paper, and probably you might do it, where they'll stick an ad in the local paper and hoping that they're going to get people coming in from that ad. Now, I don't know whether you have actually put ads in the paper and how it went, but they don't work that brilliant. And you don't know, you can't actually, it's very difficult for you to find out if that ad is actually working for you. And to be honest, we used to have a high street store going back about 5-6 years ago, before I actually got into marketing. And to be honest, that's the reason why I actually got into marketing. We had this high street store. The local paper came round and says, you know, you need to be advertising in your paper. Now, obviously I was a bit wet behind the ears. Like I'd never had a store before, not on the high street anyway. And so I said, yeah, okay. And they said, well, you should be advertising every week to get your brand out there. And the problem was, it was for a quarter of a page. As I say, I don't know whether the prices have come down now. They might have come down a bit, or they could have even gone up. Now, I was paying for a quarter of a page, £180. Now, they wanted me to do that every week, and I couldn't afford that. So it was every other week I was advertising. It was costing me 360 quid a month. And basically, we got F all in sales. People were coming in, yeah, we did ask them all, you know, have you seen our advert? And the majority of them haven't even seen it, because they get what we call ad blindness. Whereas if they're not actually looking for a particular thing when they're looking through the paper, they basically don't even see it. They'll just flop over the page. And also there is certain things that you need to be doing when you advertise in papers. Now, one of them, I don't know if you have advertised, but you need to be advertising. If you do advertise it, your advert, make sure it's on the right hand side of the page, and preferably at the top, because when people are flipping the pages, basically they flip the page over, that left hand side page, it doesn't get read as much as the right hand side. So you need to say to him, look, if I'm going to advertise with you, I want this at top of page and on the right hand side. So that's just a little thing that you should know about with that as well. But as I say, it's very hard to know what your ROI, what your return on investment is on the local paper, but they will say you need to be advertising every day, and every week, and it's just, you're just throwing money against the wall and hoping something there is going to stick. But anyway, you can try to keep advertising in your old way, but why? It's just costing you sales, guys. With the money that you could be putting into Facebook and the actual targeting that you can do, your money would be better off spent if you're spending, well, as I say, I was spending 360 quid a month just on a couple of ads a month, and that paper got thrown away. That it probably, the majority of the people didn't even read the paper, because it was in a free paper. They probably didn't even read it. It was probably thrown away. So yeah, I was probably throwing 360 quid a month. I may as well have just chucked it down the loo, and I should have been putting it into Facebook. But I mean, that was a few years ago, and Facebook, it wasn't as common advertising as it is now. So right, now in the next video, guys, we've saved the best till last. Now, this is another strategy that 95% of restaurants are not doing, and nowadays it's a must. You've got to be doing these next two strategies. Now, if you do the next two strategies, and even if you just, well, check-ins and events, guys, you've got to be doing them. It's costing you basically F all. So what have you got to lose? You've got absolutely nothing to lose. So do the check-ins and events, and then the next two strategies that we're looking at, I suggest that you do them as well. And if you do, you will actually be crushing it. Your competitors, that you'll be just leaving them behind. And as I say, they're not doing it 95%, and I guarantee you the next two strategies you're not doing. I'm putting my neck on the line there, and but I'm guaranteeing you won't be doing these next two strategies unless you are pretty damn good at your marketing. So anyway, that's it, guys, for now. But remember, start the check-ins now and the email, the check-ins and the events. If you start them now, then you know, you'll be getting more publicity for your restaurant. So okay, until tomorrow, guys, I'll see you then. Okay, bye.